Good morning, JP here at Learn Brizy. In this video, we are looking at the upcoming release, which is still in beta, and we're going to talk about positioning of elements. And that has to do with a concept that we call flex, which we don't care about. We don't get into technical stuff here, but let's see what does positioning do for the elements in this upcoming release. First, go ahead and click here. I've got this page that I've loaded, and you can also find this page within the free Brizy, and we are in the free Brizy, so this function is also for Brizy Free and Pro, and this is one of the landing pages. If I click on it, this is the image, go to settings, and before we jump into the positioning option, just have a look here. If you're an old-time Brizy user, you will notice that next to the percentage, pixels. Ooh, more control, you say. Click on More Settings, and the sidebar opens here on the right. Now the positioning now appears over here, and if you hover over it and click, you're going to get absolute and fixed. Before we do that, remember that positioning only relates to elements, not columns and other containers. So anything like a row, a column, and a block, positioning does not count for them. So if I go to the column here, in settings, more settings, you will see it does not appear over here. And the reason for that is that these guys are fixed. They are going to remain where they had been placed. And then when it comes to this image here, when you click on it, you will be able to move this image around freely on the page. But wait, Trudy, you actually can do this already. And we've done that with margins. So for example, if I go here to the left margin and I drag it here, you can see I can move it to the left outside of its container. And then here, by the margin on the right, I can increase it again like so with 100 and 100 here to make sure that I contain my aspect ratio. And then I've moved it. Now let's put it back in 0. And that's one way. And the whole idea of the positioning is to give you more flexibility and more control over where you can put things and the size for that. So let's kick off none and we go to absolute. A few things are going to happen. You see my image shrunk here, but it is still within this column. This is a glitch. The sidebar is not supposed to close, and I am not entirely sure the default setting why it is smaller. Let me show you. Click back on it, settings, more settings. So the sidebar closing, definitely a glitch, and it sets it at a width of 30%. So if I change that, click there, type in 100, you're going to see it's going to come back to its normal size. What you will observe in this case is that when I hover over it, you will see the container appears here. There's another little, and this is not a glitch, this is going to be a user interface issue, is that if you go back to more settings in the sidebar here at the bottom, you see vertical offset. I cannot see the slider that appears over here. Well, to get around that, you can dock it to the left. This is not ideal. It would be nice if maybe some more space is added at the bottom so I can scroll up and down. And then when it is and opens on the right, I can go above this toolbar, but for now, I'll have to dock it on the left. So you can see, I've put it on absolute and I've got altogether 1, 2, 3, more or less actually 5 because we can include these. So the width, you've seen what I've done with the width, and I can go ahead now and increase the size of the element independent of the container. So if I go over the percentage, it looks like this. Effectively, what I've done is more or less the same thing that I can do with the margins. But let's take it back to 100%. And then also have control over pixels there if you need more pixel perfect control. Horizontal. So let's see horizontal offset to the left, to the right. Not much is going to happen. Bottom. Okay. Top. Okay. And most importantly, what I want you to observe before we look at playing with the sliders is what happens when I scroll this page. This is absolute positioning. It's absolutely positioned on this page in the viewport on the page. And that means as I scroll, it will remain there. So why on earth do I want to do this? I want to do this because now when I grab my horizontal offset here, look at this, I can take it all over the page wherever I want it to take it. Let's go for a walk and I put it, let's say, over here. And the same thing I can do with the vertical offset. Remember, it's absolute. So when I scroll, it stays in that spot. And I can even take it lower or to the right. Oh, where is it now? Okay, because let's rather stay on the right, something like this. So it drops off and I can put it at the bottom on another part. And you see, I can take it up quite a lot. Even though it's anchored to this column up here, it appears down here, absolute positioning. And if we go and put it back on none, guess what? Back to normal. Life is good again. The only thing that you need to pay a lot of attention to is that when you do this, just bring it up. Where now I have to go find it here. More settings. Let's put it just back somewhere reasonable. Here. The only thing, and that's where I continued, is that you will have to go and check how it looks on tablet. So when I go on tablet, and when I go to mobile, let's see if I click on it, settings, let's see if I have independent control. Put this one on the right. Let's go back to desktop. So you have full responsiveness over that setting. Now that is absolute, my dear. And let's go to our more settings. Oh, I'm so used to my docking station on the right that this on the left is really giving me nausea. Click on none and now it's back to that. So what is fixed? And I think if you are good at guessing, fixed is going to allow you to fix it to your screen, your viewport. Now the viewport is what any user sees when they get to it. And this is the viewport. Now that is massive. Can I select it? Where? Shoo, over here. Okay. More settings. And then what we're going to do, let's horizontal offset. Why is it so huge? Percentage? Is it because it's in percentage? Why that 100% is so huge? So definitely something wacky there. Let me take it down there. Okay, fixed. And let's take it and we put it there in the top. And you will observe what's going to happen now. And if you want to have more control, simply click in there and use the arrow keys on your keyboard, like up. Oh, that's down. Let's put it on 10 pixels. Let's put it on 0. That will take us almost to the top. And if you want it all the way to the top, what you're going to have to do here is, let's go to settings again. And then here, margin. I guess that's where we reduce it and take away the 10. There we go, right? So you see. Now, here is what fix does. When I scroll, it stays there. I am very, very cautious when I come to using absolute and fixed positioning. I've seen many websites where it doesn't work very well. People go crazy, they drag it all over the place, and then in the end, they have issues, especially when it comes to responsive display. So this is one of those cases that it looks like a great tool, but be very careful when you start going into your tablets and mobiles. Is it worth making all this effort and in the end it does not display properly on those two devices? That would be my word of caution. We'll have to wait for the final release to see exactly how this works, but this is a little bit teaser with the beta of what's in the pipeline for upcoming Brizy. And like I mentioned at the beginning, this feature available both in the free and pro versions of Brizy. This probably will roll out to Brizy Cloud as well. Currently, we're demoing it in Brizy WordPress. Have a lovely day. This is JP. Stay safe.